In this video, you're going to learn how to do your vertex calculations, and you're going to learn about method 1, method 2, and method 3. You're going to complete the square to get your vertex, use negative b over 2a, and then plug it into the function to get your h and your k. And if you have the roots, how to do the average of them. Alright, on to method 1. We have seen this method in class, so I'm just going to go through the steps. So just make some room, and you'll see the steps. So first we need to complete the square. There's nothing in front, so we're just going to go ahead and make some room. To complete this square, we have to take half of 3. We need to square this number. This is the number that we're going to add and that we're going to subtract. So plus 9/4 minus 9/4. This becomes x plus 3/2 squared. Remember, squared terms go together. And this is the one that comes down. And we need to do this, just use a calculator for it. So it'd be 2 minus 9/4. And you get negative 1/4. This is officially vertex form. So your vertex is going to be opposite of this number, which is positive, so you use negative 3 over 2, and you're going to keep this number, negative 1/4. Alright, we're going to use the same equation, but instead we're going to use method 2, which is we're going to find the vertex using negative b over 2a for our h, and then to find k, we're going to plug it into the function to get that value. Alright, so when you look at this, the first thing I want you to make sure is that it's in standard form. And this one is. Then you're going to find your a, b, and c. So from this case, a equals 1, b equals 3, and c equals 2. Then you're going to say h equals negative b over 2a. So negative b means opposite of b. So b is positive, so it'll just be a negative 3 over 2 times 1. So in this case, it's negative 3 over 2. And then to find k, we're going to plug it into the function. That's what this means. It means for x, you're going to plug in that value. So the value that we're going to use is negative 3 over 2. So this is saying x squared. So negative 3 over 2 squared plus 3 times negative 3 over 2 plus 2. And I would really like it if you would use the calculator correctly. So make sure you use your parentheses. Negative 3 over 2 squared plus 3 times negative 3 over 2 plus 2. And you get negative 1/4. So your vertex is your h value, which is negative 3 over 2, and your k value, which is negative 1/4. And if all you need is the vertex, then this is the method that you need to be using. Negative b over 2a for h, and then plug it into the function to get your k. Alright, the third method is when you use the average of your roots. For this case, you need the roots. And so you have to solve for the roots. And in this case, it looks like I should be able to solve this one by, remember there's 4 different ways that you can get the roots, and we've practiced these in class. The method that I'm going to choose for this one is factoring, right? 2 and middle number is 3. That's at 2 times 1. There's nothing to divide by, right? You divide by 1 for those of you that like to divide. So this becomes x plus 2, x plus 1, right? To solve for the roots, we'll go ahead and set it equal to 0. That means x plus 2 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0. I get that x equals negative 2 and that x equals negative 1. Alright, so these are the roots, but this is not my final answer. This is what I'm going to use to get my vertex. Alright, so this is now the vertex calculation. Obviously, this method would be useful if you have the roots, right? So if the roots are already given to you, then I would use this method. But, let's see. To find h, you need to add the x's and divide by 2. So it's x1 plus x2 over 2. x1 is negative 2 plus a negative 1 over 2. That gives me negative 3 over 2. And k, you got to plug it into the function. And once again, we're going to end up doing this. So this is the h is going to go into the function. So you're going to square it plus 3 times the value of x, which is negative 3 over 2 plus 2. And you'll notice this is the same thing as this one, so it's going to equal negative 1/4. So your vertex is negative 3 over 2, negative 1/4. Alright, all of these were the same function, but I went ahead and I solved it using different methods. If completing the square is your thing, then I would complete the square to get the vertex. If you just like plugging into a formula, then this is actually the best method right here. Especially if all you need is the vertex, then this works perfect. And then this one, I only recommend this one when you already have the roots. Like if you have to look for the roots, you might as well use this method. Alright, if you only need the vertex, then method 2 is the easiest way. Let me prove it to you. And I'm going to use this example because this one has a coefficient in front. And this is kind of to review how to complete the square. Alright, when you have a number in front, we have to basically factor it out. Alright, 12 over 2 is 6. Make some room. We got the plus 1, and then we're going to add and subtract something. We're going to do half of the 6. That gives us a 3. We're going to square that, and that gives us a 9. Okay, the 9 is what we add, and what we got to multiply by the 2. So minus 2 times 9. Let's see, the 3 comes down. Alright, so we have a 2x plus 3 squared. And what's 1 minus 18? So that's negative 17. Alright, this is vertex form. And the vertex is opposite of this number. So it's a positive 3, so we're going to grab a negative 3. And we're going to keep this number, so negative 17. Okay. So that would be getting the vertex by completing the square. Method 2, we use negative b over 2a. So it's in standard form. Check. A equals 2, B equals 12, C equals 1. So H is negative b over 2a. Negative b is opposite of b, so negative 12, 2 times a. What is a? A is a 2. So negative 12 over 4. See? Negative 12, I mean, I know the answer, I'm just showing you, so that way you know what to plug into the calculator. Negative 3. And then to find k, we're going to plug it into the function. So the function is 2 times the value that you're plugging in, squared, plus 12 times the value that you're plugging in, plus a 1. And just type that into your calculator. Make sure the calculator is on screen. Trying to get some light on my calculator screen. Okay, you should be able to see there. 2 times negative 3 squared plus 12 times negative 3. Notice that in all these cases I'm using those parentheses. If you refuse to use the parentheses, I don't know, calculus might give you the wrong answer. Negative 17. And these you don't have to change, like these are your answers. Like your vertex is negative 3, negative 17. See? Check. Check. Alright, in the back of this worksheet, I'm asking that you go ahead and you solve these by completing the square and by negative b over 2a. Those are the two most important ones. If you want to go ahead and practice method 3, that's on you, but you're going to have to find your own roots. I need you to show all the steps in completing the square and negative b over 2a. And you'll notice that 1, 2, and 3 are fairly easy because they don't have a leading coefficient, so completing the square shouldn't be so bad. And I need you to know how to do 4 and 5, as in these types of questions are on your assessment. So please make sure that you know how to complete the square and also how to just use negative b over 2a. Alright, this is the end of the video lesson. Your job is to complete this and to turn it in.